Offsides is one of the most confusing rules in soccer. One minute, you think your team has just scored. The next, you see the referee with the flag up, and the goal doesn't count. But why? Well, in this video today, I'm going to break down offsides into the simplest of rules. No more confusion, no more arguments, just clear, easy to understand knowledge about the offsides rule. Alright, let's kick off. Offsides needs two things to be true. The first thing is you have to be in an offsides position. You have to be involved in the play, and you need both of those in order to be called offsides. Before we dive into what offsides is, think about a kid sitting in a driver's seat. There's nothing wrong with that. It may not be a good idea for them to be there, but as soon as they start driving, that's when it becomes against the law. In soccer, being in an offsides position is not against the rules, but as soon as you become a part of the play, that's when offsides is called, and that's when you're breaking the laws of the game. Alright, let's dive into understanding what an offsides position is. An offsides position is defined when an attacker is closer to the goal than the last two defenders on the other team, and does not have the ball. Offsides occurs when a player is in an offsides position and they are involved in the play. Usually being involved in the play means getting the ball played to you. But it could mean that you're interfering with a goalie or a defender, or you're doing something to impact the play and gain an unfair advantage. Alright, well that sounds simple enough. But when does a referee actually call offsides? Think about taking a picture. When the ball is played, is the attacking player in an offsides position? If the answer is yes, it is offsides. Alright, so now that we have a basic understanding what offsides is, let's take a look at a couple different scenarios and see if you can tell if the player is offsides or not. Alright, here's our first scenario. Player A has the ball and they're through on goal. Should the referee call them offsides? The answer is no. The player is onsides because they had the ball. For scenario 2, should the referee call player B offsides when player A plays them the ball? The answer is no, for two reasons. One, because they are behind the ball, and secondly, there are two defenders between them and the goal. Alright, you're doing great. Let's move on to scenario number 3. Is player B offsides when player A plays them the ball? The answer is no, because when player A played the ball, player B had two defenders between them and the goal, and they were behind the ball. Alright, let's look at a fourth scenario. Is player B offsides when player A plays them the ball? The answer is no, they are not offsides, because they are even with the ball or behind it when the ball is played, so they are onsides. Alright, you're doing great. Scenario 5. Is player B offsides when player A plays the ball into them? The answer is yes, they are offsides in this scenario, because they are ahead of the ball and there are not two defenders between them and the goal. Alright, great job with those. Now let's look at some real life examples. Our first example is the US men's team versus the Ghana team. What we're looking at here is this player in an offsides position, and should the referee call offsides? Remember, in order to be offsides, two things have to be true. You have to be in an offsides position, and you have to be a part of the play. When we look at where this player is situated, they are behind the last defender, still in front of the goalie, and they do not have the ball, which makes them in an offsides position. Now at this point, they don't have the ball. So we froze this video as the ball is being played to them, which when they receive the ball, makes them offsides. Remember, offsides happens when both things are true. Here's another example of a game between Spain and the Netherlands. The player in question here is Robin van Persie. Is he offsides? Let's start by drawing an offsides line. Are there two defenders between him and the goal? The answer is yes, this defender and the goalkeeper. That means that he is not in an offsides position, which means that he cannot be called offsides. And look at that beautiful goal. Alright, now that you know what offsides is, let's talk about what offsides is not. There are a few instances where you might be in an offsides position and you get the ball, but you're not offsides. Alright, let's look at two of those. The first one occurs when you're in an offsides position and receive the ball from a throw-in. There is no offsides when a throw-in occurs, so use that to your advantage. The second type is when you're in an offsides position, but you get the ball not from your team, but from the other team. So in this example here, an Austin player plays it back to a St. Louis City player, and he scores a goal. He was in an offsides position, but the other team played him the ball, so it was not offsides. Okay, so you understand offsides now. So what do you do when you see a player's offsides, whether on your team or the other team? You keep playing until you hear the whistle. Referees may get it wrong, players may be wrong, you may be wrong, but do not stop playing until you hear the referee whistle. Okay, so let's recap. It takes two things to be offsides. You need to be in an offsides position, and they need to be a part of the play. This is when offsides occurs and when the referee should call it. Remember, if the referee does not blow the whistle, keep playing. The offsides rule usually begins to take effect when teams transition from 7v7 to 9v9. If that's you, I have a video for you right here on how to transition to a 2-3-2-1 formation. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future content, like how to use offsides to your advantage on offense and defense. Alright, thank you, and good luck.